You are now watching an A.Marie production. Welcome to an A.Marie production. My name is Amber, and as you can see, I'm sitting next to the beautiful, talented Chinwe, aka Chinwe, voice of Streetz 945, holiday season 62. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm going to want to discuss you overall as a person, not just as Streetz 945 Chinwe. Let's start all the way back to baby Chinwe. I want to know what led you to where you are now, or what things did you join that kind of connected to where you are now?
Well, going back to when I was a baby, my dad has always made me write poems since I could write and talk. So I've always written poems. He's always influenced me to be very creative. I think the earliest memory I have of doing something media related was in 5th grade. We had something called Tiger Paw News at Oglethorpe Elementary School here in Atlanta, right next to Mo Brown. And it was like our own little news setup. And so I was an anchor. I would do like the behind the scenes sometimes. And I was like in 4th grade. So that was like my first meeting.
I want to touch bases on Streetz because I know Streetz is really, would you say Streetz kind of jumped it off for you? It's really what opened the door, or what would you say opened that door to where you are, like specifically?
Mentally or career-wise?
Career-wise. Would you say the internship?
Yeah.
Would you say it benefited you?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
I'm glad I did. They always preached internships at Georgia State, especially for journalism majors, because a lot of the CNN people will come our teachers now at Georgia State, and they will always push internships. So,
It's really important because it gives you that exposure into the field that you desire to be in. So gaining an internship is really gaining that insight.
Yeah.
So how long was it before you got offered the position, and then how did you feel when you got offered the position?
Woo! Okay, so I started interning in May of 2015. I interned all through the summer, all through the fall, and then January, I got an opportunity to do the entertainment news on Holiday Show one evening, and I killed the game. They said they were going to pre-record it. I was one take away. I only had to do it one time. And then I did that from January all the way up until like June. And then I got a little frustrated because I felt like, I kept getting to run around. I was supposed to have a meeting, kept not happening, kept getting pushed back. So I said, all right, well, I'm out of here because, what more do I have to do? At some point, free labor is important, but when you've in that weird limbo stage of I'm kind of an intern, but I'm not really doing intern's work, and I feel like I've earned my spot to not have to do intern work.
You want to get paid.
Yeah, and I had my degree at this point, so I'm like, what was the point of going to school if where's my job? This is what y'all promised me. When I got out of school, I was supposed to have a job. That's the whole point of going to college. But when they finally, I was in New York visiting my mom. We were at the Statue of Liberty. Steve called me. He was like, are you ready to come back to work? And I thought that was the sweetest phone call I could have ever gotten. I was like, oh my God, yes. And I came up there. I think were you there that day?
No, I wasn't.
It was someone else that was there. And I was really nervous. Even though I knew he had called me in there to offer me the job, I was still extremely nervous because that's like
a big moment.
An intern's dream. Like
to get that position, to actually sit down with the owner of Streetz or just any broadcasting or businessman, to actually sit and him offering a position. That's one of the things that's the goal. That's the whole point of the internship, is actually doing your free labor, doing your free work, knocking that out. You got to pay your dues. You can't just jump. You can't just get into an internship and think, okay, you have to pay your dues, and then you got that position. So that's good. How is it now working as an employee of Streetz, working with DJ Holiday, Fly Guy DC, having all the guests come in? How is that?
That shit is not sweet. Let me tell y'all that now. I think life was easier when I was an intern because at least you knew you were working towards something, hopefully. But now it's kind of like, I got dropped in the fire, as Holiday says, and the way they kind of explained it to me is I have to respect my process, but at the same time, I don't have time for a process. Because you got Holiday, who's been doing this for 10 plus years. You got DC, who's in the clubs every night hosting, and then there's me. And We had a powwow a couple weeks ago because they're like, Chinwe, you gotta do something.
What do you mean?
Believe it or not. Like, I have to do more. Like, I'm not doing enough.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, that's why I say shit is not sweet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be out in the streets or be places and get to know people and get out. And that's hard for me because when I came back home, I wasn't really my scene to be out and about, or I didn't really talk to anybody at Georgia State, so I don't have any friends except the ones that I know from middle school, elementary school, high school. But it's hard, and I'm a female.
Mm-hmm.
I know that people think that's like a myth or that's like a dying thing. No, being a woman in a male industry is extreme.
Yes.
That's a whole nother thing. It went from being an intern to being a woman, like in my
big
mind.
jump.
So yeah,
Definitely, I do notice personalities are always interactive with the crowd, the people, you know, going to different events, always working. And then you have Monday through Friday, 6 to 10, you know, doing the show. When do you find that free time, or do you ever have that free time to say, okay, you know, let me just relax, or you haven't gotten to that point yet?
I think I relax too much, to be honest. I think that when you the stakes, I feel like my job is in jeopardy every single day.
Okay.
I literally feel that way. So when I feel like the stakes are that high, I don't believe in being bored.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in you putting shit off and not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But I think I take too much time to sit and relax.
Exactly.
To be honest.
You gotta keep going, because the
always
moment you
more.
stop, you ain't got any projects that you have for us waiting?
Yes, I'm writing a play / cartoon.
Okay.
I love Boondocks. I love adult cartoons. I'm currently watching Archer to see like how they do their work. I love the wordplay in Archer and stuff. I love the satire in Boondocks. So I kind of want to do a millennial version
Okay.
of that. So it's going to be called Woke, the musical, and then Woke, the cartoon. On the political and social state of like what we see, especially from, you know, a Black woman's perspective. So for instance, I'm gonna have an episode where it's gonna be called Black Jesus. And you know, Dr. King is Black Jesus. And Obama is also Black Jesus. So I'm gonna have like, well, in my cartoon, Dr. King is gonna be alive. And Malcolm X is gonna be alive in my cartoon. And so it's gonna be an episode where they're kind of like hating on each other a little bit over who's a more favorite Black Jesus. Just taking like things that we do in the Black community and just exaggerating it, or explaining, you know, don't worry about Trump being elected.
Right.
It is all the show, and because I was really, really upset, of course, but my dad was like, Black people gonna be all right. We always are, and we always will be. All we do is resist. We always win in the revolution.
Exactly.
You just worry about yourself. What's up, it's your girl Chinwe from Streetz 94.5. You are watching an A.Marie production, and I've officially been grounded in faith.